File-based containers are an important step in beginning to really separate the idea of code and configuration from content within the dotCMS system. Code and configuration follows a very particular development process and workflow, and content within the system can follow a similar workflow, but also can come in from other environments, and also can come in via API, and can come in actually from production. A lot of times you want to mirror your production content back to your dev environment, so you have good data in order to do QA and testing. Containers, in my mind, represent one of the older components in dotCMS, and are very tightly coupled with dotCMS database. And you can see here that each of these templates here, while they can be externalized within, using an include here, they still require database entries in order for those to work. What containers as files shows is where we're going as a product, and how things are going to be pulled out of the database and be externally versionable, externally manageable, and be able to be promoted through environment through a CI/CD process. So what containers as files do is take all of these different templates that are now embedded into dotCMS and externalize them into files, right? So you can see here that I have this folder called demo container, and has the templates for the different content types that are going to be rendered within that container. Now it's convention based, and those names are the content types variable names. So just like containers have properties, things like you can define in a container how many content objects it can hold, and there's a pre-loop and a post-loop. If we go back and look at our files, and let's take a look at the container file, and you can see here that the container file is using this .json object again, and is leveraging that to set the title, to set the contentlets, to set even the container notes for the particular container, right? The pre-loop and post-loop, again, live separately and are versionable as files, and each of these different container blocks are sort of micro templates for the content within the container, live on as their own files as well. In order to put those and use those in dotCMS, you have to upload those into a convention-based folder under, in this case, it's called application containers, right? And if I drag this demo container into my dotCMS system, and then come back and take a look at our browser here, you can see now I have the demo container and all the different components that are in it, right? And if I come to my container listing here you can see also that it's registered as a container within the system itself. I can take this particular path here, and let's show you how I want to use this. If I come to a template, let's do an advanced template, which is my template. Adding a container in dotCMS, the way you add it, you can click on that, or you can call the include itself. But I can search here for our demo container. Go ahead and add it. Now you can see here this inserted an identifier which is tying us to the database. If I want, I can containers and demo container. I can reference the container by its path. So if we have a container called demo container, right, I can reference it that way. And so what that's going to do now, when I create a page that uses my template, let me create a new page here to use and I'm going to use my template here. Come to edit, you can see here that it's going to act just like any other container in dotCMS, and it's going to have predefined content types that it's going to respect, and that's based upon the list of the content objects or the VTL files that are in that particular folder for the container. Now containers also can be referenced, just like I referenced it by the path, containers can also be referenced across hosts. So if we use the syntax in our template, parse container, and we did to .com, which is going to be our demo host, then it's going to parse that across hosts. This container can then be reusable across hosts, and we'll call the right demo container on the right particular host. So containers being defined on the file system is the first step to a longer process of extracting configuration and code out of dotCMS and moving that into being able to move that into a externally versionable repo and being able to deliver that into multiple environments. So this is going to be continuing in future releases, and we look forward to all the opportunities and advantages that this is going to bring.